Welcome to another edition of Saddle Up. Today we're going to talk about stable management. We will be mucking out a stall and talking about feed. I will also show you later a rider and her basic body position as we begin. Today on Saddle Up. Here at Fairplay Farms we muck out every day, and I bed with straw, which is a little bit different than a lot of farms in the area. Many horse farms use sawdust, and I'm one of the old-time users of straw. I like straw because it provides warmth for the horses, a bed that they really enjoy laying down on and sort of getting very cozy. It helps to keep my barn very warm at night, and my water buckets do not freeze. It's also a product that I can spread on my fields, and it composts very well. Well, I'm going to show you the process now of cleaning out a stall. We call it mucking. I always come in and take the most obvious manure first. Everyone has their own utensils that they like to use. This is actually a sawdust fork, which I like because it's a little lighter for me to handle. And I'm putting it currently into a muck bucket. Normally we can muck directly into our manure spreader and get it ready to take directly out onto the field to be spread. Typically we can fill about 3 of these. And as I said, we do this every day so the horses have that comfortable place to sleep. I encourage my horses to lay down at night, as these are all athletes, and it's nice to have them get off of their legs. After I get the most obvious manure and wet spots out, I'm always trying to conserve my clean straw. Straw is a cheaper product than shavings, but it's still, especially this year with the drought, been affected, and the cost has gone up. So anything that I can save that is clean, I push into a corner. Sort of my motto is, as it is with my refrigerator, when in doubt, throw it out. So I don't leave anything that is questionable to help keep a urine smell out of the barn. My barn, when this is completed, is very fresh and clean and provides a nice environment for the horses to come into. So here we are now with a stall that is ready to be bedded. I have all of my clean straw that I've set aside, and now I'm going to pull it into the middle where there you can see a wet spot where the urine had collected. So I'll pull in the straw from today that will tomorrow be what we will take out. So if there's anything that might have slipped by and been a little bit questionable, it's going to be cleaned out tomorrow. So we're constantly rotating clean straw into the stall. So I'm pulling everything in, and if I like to keep my muck bucket handy in case I find a little wet spot that I didn't see or another little bit of manure that I've missed, can all go into my muck bucket. I like to make sure that really there is nothing in this stall but fresh, clean straw. I then tamp it down to sort of make a mattress and sort of get a feel for the depth of my straw. Straw will compress, and we need to have a fair bit in the stall so it will be absorbent enough for the urine. I'm now going to bring my clean straw in. And I will start to bed around the edges. You can do this with a pitchfork, or I just prefer to do it with my hands. This straw breaks apart very, very nicely. It's very clean, nothing moldy. You want to make sure, even beyond just your feed products, but your bedding products also should not be moldy or musty. You'll always have a little dust in whatever you are putting down, even with straw. But that will settle before the horse comes in. So I'm bedding around the sides of the stall. With all the brand new, fresh, clean straw. I'm going to take just a little bit more. And then I'm going to just tap this down. And I like to make a little bit of a bank up against the wall. This just helps to keep a horse from getting up a little too close when he lays down to get himself caught, or we call it cast, in the stall. And I keep a nice clear aisleway in front where I will put the feed, the hay, and I use both a first and second cutting hay, which is what they eat. And straw is yellow. This is something a lot of people mistake. But straw is yellow and is what the horses are bed on. And this happens to be wheat straw. It's less inviting for a horse to eat. Oat straw, and you can think of oats, and horses eat oats, give the horse a little, can sort of seduce them into eating it, and we don't want them to eat their bedding. The other thing in prepping the stall for the evening is we always tip their water buckets, so we have a nice, fresh, clean water. This barn is very warm at night, and so my water buckets don't freeze. I've got that luxury, but I like to keep fresh water every day for the horses. And then in the corner is his feed bucket. I have feed doors in this barn, which makes it very convenient for me to feed the horses in the morning and in the evening. So here I am with the hay. I feed a first and second cutting hay, which you can see a little bit of a difference here. This top is a second cutting grass, which is very soft and a little richer. And this lower is nice, clean, fresh Timothy mixed with a little bit of alfalfa. And we feed quite a fair amount of hay to the horses. I like them to have plenty of rough forage to eat every day. They're fed this or more every morning and in the evening. Just set that up, and then we have a nice fresh water bucket. And then to finish, I always like to keep the front of my stalls swept. We will have the whole barn swept out, but we keep a nice, clean front to the stall. Which helps to keep the straw in the stall when the horses move out in the morning. So here is a prepared stall for the evening. So now we have another full load of manure to be spread out on our field.
I'm program director.
Production supervisor.
Producer, editor.
All right, Mr. Tweedle, are you ready?
I'm an editor at Oxford Community Television.
I am the station manager.
What?
We're rolling. I'm proud to be a producer here at Oxford Community Television.
Action.
What do you do at OCTV?
I do science in the news and auto talk.
Politicians!
I'm sorry, I didn't say the right things.
What do I do? I'm a jack of all trades.
Actually, I almost got to play a dead body. You made more money if you played a dead body.
I love working here.
I graduated from Bell and Howell.
I went to school for it.
Team player here.
Hi, Kelly.
Dave.
I bring all the shows that you watch together.
In the business for 40 years. I've been a production manager, I've been a program manager, I've been a general manager.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, wham! Wham! I'm a big part of the Addison Living Show.
OCTV has some of the most imaginative people working here.
You can take a story and turn it into something visual.
I'm constantly an individual who wants to learn things.
I do this because we are your voice.
Oh, I love to do music stuff here with OCTV.
I love enthusiasm. I love people who enjoy their job.
He can do that.
Anything about broadcasting, I just really loved it.
We want you.
I am.
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 I am OCTV.
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 We can do this.
So here we are in the feed room. I kind of call this the brain of the operation. This is a main focus or central area for the horse farm. I'm really into making sure my horses are fed to the best of my ability and what I know about feeding older horses. I have a lot of older horses here on the farm, and they have to be fed a little bit differently than just your backyard horse. I also have horses here that are performance horses. We have field hunters and event horses, which require a little bit more energy in their diet for the job that they do. So I'm going to show you what I feed, and everyone, again, it's personal preference. These are the things that I've learned in my being with horses for probably 40 years. And I feed now for all of my animals a low starch grain. This is a high quality product, but does not add the carbohydrates and sugars to the horse's diet, which is not good for an older equine. So this is the product here. This is the grain. I keep my grain in a bin. We also have a fat supplement here for some of the horses that are harder keepers. We have several different fat supplements. This is a owner's preference. Some of these supplements are extremely expensive. Fat is a expensive way to feed horses, but some horses need the fat. I also feed a no molasses shredded beet pulp, and this has to be soaked, and I soak my beet pulp 12 hours ahead. Over here you'll see the beet pulp that has been soaking in water. This will be for the evening feed. A very small amount of beet pulp goes a long way. It really absorbs water and puffs up quite a bit, and there is no sugar in this beet pulp. Once a week, I bran mash the horses, and this is a wheat bran. And this is not a human grade, but very close to what humans would have, similar to oatmeal. but made with wheat. And this is my bucket that I make my bran mash in. I add salt to my feed and carrots, anything sort of to add a little bit of flavor to the bran mash to help them eat this. But they get this every Sunday evening. A meal is prepared with cut up apples and grain, a little bit of grain, just to help them want to eat it. They all aren't so into the bran mash, but it helps to keep their systems regular. In the winter months when they may not want to drink as much water, we have to help them keep their gut moving, and so we don't have a problem called colic. As you can see here, all of the names are written on my feed buckets, and we have the amount that this horse will get. Finding the amounts for the horse is adjusted according to their body weight and their exercise load. As a horse maybe is laid up, I will reduce their grain, increase their hay, so these amounts will change according to body weight. Also, we have supplements that are set up in each individual bucket for that particular horse. This can be owner directed or suggested by me as to what I see a horse may need for the job that he's doing, and maybe an injury or something else going on in his life with old age or other things. So the grain is all set up so that we have the proper amounts and things for each horse every single day. It helps to keep me organized. One more thing I'd like to mention is the addition of salt and how important it is to helping the animals drink water. This is a time of year when horses are eating dry forage with hay. They don't have grass outdoors to eat. So I add salt to their food every single morning. And if I notice that a horse hasn't been drinking his water as he normally does every evening, that's something that you get to know with each individual. As I have some horses that will drink maybe this much, but they drink out during the day, and other horses that will drink a whole bucket every night. I will add more salt to their food to encourage them to drink before they get a problem. As I mentioned earlier, how important water was for a horse. Here at the farm, we keep our water tanks operating all winter long, and I have heating units in these that we turn on every evening. The water in this tank is nice and clean and is kept open without any ice, so the horses are encouraged to drink. The other thing we keep here is our hay shed, where our hay can be kept dry for the horses to eat outside. Another part of stable management is outdoor air. Horses really are bred to be in groups and out of doors, breathing fresh air. All of my horses here have companions, if they can get along, and they have their friendships that they build, and herds and groups that they like to hang out with. So all of the horses here are turned out from the morning till the evening. In the summertime, I also will turn horses out also through the evening. When the temperatures are very hot, I will bring them in during the day. Something that I really enjoy in Metamora is the ability to have horses turned out on hills. This helps with exercise and strengthening for their back ends, which helps me do my job easier. And I also have horses that come here in a more weakened state, maybe coming from a layoff, and I can help them just with the turnout situation become a little bit stronger. The other thing that happens a lot at the farm is the constant maintenance of all of the fencing and the pastures. In the spring, we will drag the pastures to knock apart all of the manure so that we can keep a control on worms. Horses are wormed here regularly, every 2 to 3 months at the same time, to help to keep any kind of infestation of worms down to a bare minimum. What I have found with fencing is that board fencing is probably the safest, although they do chew on it, for one, and they have a tendency to play over fences with each other or kick through a board. So there's always we have to maintain, go around and fix fencing. We have multiple different types of fencing here, and we run a hot wire on top of the wood board to help with breakage and play over the top. No matter what you have, it seems that horses will find a way to destroy it. So this is one of my horses, Shindig. He is 21 years old, and he was an upper-level event horse. And the one thing I can tell you about a high-strung animal like this, and part of farm management and barn management, is horses really thrive on routine, knowing what time they're going to be fed, who their pasture buddy is, not changing things up. They don't do well with change and drastic change.
President Roosevelt signed the Bill of Rights.
I've always appreciated the American Legion's
My gratitude to the American Legion.
Thank you all to the American Legion.
We have millions of veterans that are members of our organization. Thank you.
The American Legion. We serve America and its veterans. We pledge ourselves to our veterans, our youth, a strong national defense, and Americanism. These four pillars shape our work and what we do for America. There is power in our numbers. We're the largest organization of wartime veterans in the nation. We are 2.5 million members strong, men and women from every state in the nation and around the world. No other veterans organization wields this kind of power. We work relentlessly within our four pillars of service, and we succeed. The American Legion takes care of our fellow veterans and their families. We maintain close ties with Congress and the leaders in Washington, D.C. They respect us. They listen to us. We sponsor research and press for medical care and benefits for all veterans and active duty service members, whether they are members of the American Legion or not.
President Roosevelt signs G.I. Joe's Bill of Rights.
You've heard of the GI Bill of Rights, one of the most important pieces of social legislation of the 20th century. It was written and passed largely through the efforts of the American Legion. We were instrumental in the formation of what is now the Department of Veterans Affairs to make sure our veterans get the care and benefits they are promised and deserve. The young people of our nation are our future. They benefit from exceptional programs and generous scholarships that only the American Legion offers. We provide athletic programs like American Legion Junior Shooting Sports, Legion Baseball, and educational and civics programs like the Oratorical Scholarship Contest and Boys State and Boys Nation.
As Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black stated, the quality of justice that Americans receive should not depend upon the amount of money they have.
We promote citizenship and an appreciation of government. We have all been directly involved in our nation's defense as wartime veterans. We know what policies, tools, and manpower our military needs to protect this great country. We fight to get these things done.
We are all very grateful to have the American Legion on point.
We take our case all the way to the top in Washington, D.C. to ensure that America is prepared for any threat. We are patriots through and through. We believe in our flag and all that it stands for. Our Constitution, our Pledge of Allegiance, our way of life are all fundamental to maintaining our freedom and the standing that we have as the greatest country on earth. We promote and defend these values every day in communities across the nation. These pillars represent not just what we do, but who we are. We're here to serve our fellow veterans, their families, and all of America. We are here for them. We are here for you. The American Legion asks you to join us in our mission. If you share our vision and commitment to America, visit our website at legion.org or your nearest American Legion post today.
So I now have my student Patty Snelson on Hannigan, and we're going to talk about just the basic rider position for startup. And I'm going to show you how I've adjusted her stirrups and what I'm looking for in her position. So I'm going to ask Patty to stop or halt Hanny. And we're going to just talk about just the way that we're going to align her body while sitting on him in preparation to move off. So go ahead and just release your reins just a little bit, Patty, and hopefully Hannigan will stand still and be a good subject for us. And so right now, Patty has her leg just a little bit behind where it needs to be. We have her, go ahead and take your feet out of the stirrups. So the way we adjust as just a general startup for a jumping style position leg, we're going to measure the stirrup bar at the bone in the big bone in your ankle. So this is tapping there, and I like to, if you want to err on a side of too long or too short for jumping or cross-country riding, go shorter. It's safer to be a little bit shorter with just a little bit more angles in your leg. So I'm going to pick Patty's foot up and kind of place it in the stirrup. This is a safety stirrup, and Patty has on her winter boots, which are appropriate for riding right now. And we want her to be comfortable in this cold weather so that she wants to come out and ride. So then we're going to just have her soften her knee. We want that stirrup leather, this is our stirrup leather, if you'll just pull your knee back just a little bit, Patty, to hang in a perpendicular line to the ground, which it is very nicely hanging in a nice straight. So this gives Patty a nice base of support for the rest of her position. If she does not have her feet underneath her, it's going to be very difficult for her to continue on and find balance and security in her riding. So just as I'm standing on the ground, I've got to have my feet underneath me so that I don't topple over or that I use a lot of muscular energy to keep myself here. And the same thing for Patty sitting up on top of the horse. She needs to have her feet underneath her. This is the first building block for the rest of her position. So her leg is hanging in a nice place. We don't grip with the knee or thigh. We basically stay and stand over our feet. Patty's upper body is in a nice position over her pelvis. Her shoulders are lined up over her pelvis, and everything is balanced over her feet. She has a nice, long, beautiful leg, which most riders die for. So her position is very lovely on a horse. So Patty's arm, then, when she's holding the reins, will be in a way that her thumbs are pointing in more towards the sky. They can be ever so slightly angled a bit, but not knuckles up nor fingertips up. So, and she's going to close her thumb right down over the rein just to give that rein a little bit of purchase, especially when in the winter we have our winter riding gloves, and with the rubber reins, any rein can be a little bit slippery when we have a lot of bulk trying to hold the rein. So that thumb coming down over the rein can help to keep that rein from constantly sliding out and having to be adjusted. Then the rein will basically run in a straight line right up to her elbow, and she has a nice bend in her elbow, and the arm is coming straight down out of her shoulder. She has a nice open front line and is as wide across the collarbones as she is up and down in the top to bottom. So now we just have to get Patty to breathe and relax, as breathing and relaxing is very much a part of being able to ride well on top of a horse that is constantly moving and breathing. So Patty's in a very nice position, her head balanced lightly on top of her shoulders in a nice soft way behind her neck, that she's free in the jaw, free below the ear, and that she is in a place now to be able to breathe very easily. You can see Hannigan is so happy he's falling asleep here in the sunshine, and he's ready to roll. I hope that sometime you'll come out and join us in the beautiful Metamora countryside and see what country living with horses is all about.